What is up, everybody? It's Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon for probably the majority of people watching this. What an unbelievable day of college baseball we've had so far. In this Georgia versus Mississippi State, game one of the Super Regional was one of the craziest games I've ever watched. So I'll start by breaking it down for you. Mississippi State went up 7-0 early in the game on the road at Georgia. By the way, going into this series, Georgia had won all three games in the regular season, won all three in Starkville as well, which is crazy. And then they also took them down in the SEC tournament in Hoover, which just shows, Georgia coming into this series, being back at home at Foley. There's no way that Mississippi State wins, right? And then basically right off the bat in like I think the fourth inning, Mississippi State goes up 7-0, and it's like, whoa, like what's going on, right? So obviously Mississippi State has a massive lead, but Georgia doesn't let it get to them. They put back five, like 2 innings later. They put back another two to tie the game. Unbelievable stuff. They went from 7-0 down to 7-7. Then from there on out, it was just, shot after shot, home run after home run. So many home runs in this game. I want to say there was like eight, maybe. I mean, there was so many bombs, so many good players showing up. I mean, there has to have been only like three players in the entire game that didn't get a hit. I know there was only one for Mississippi State. Had to have been only a couple for Georgia as well. And it was an absolute offensive showdown, 13 to 12 in favor of Georgia. They ended up getting the last couple outs to seal the deal. What an unbelievable game. Now, after the game, they showed on the broadcast that I believe it was the last three NCAA tournaments, not a single team has come back from down 7-0, which just kind of showcases what it means for this Georgia team, a team who's done so well throughout the year, obviously dominated Mississippi State, and, with UCLA and Georgia Tech being those top teams in the country, Georgia, and obviously they got out, right? Georgia becomes kind of that favorite that, if it's kind of lame, I know because they're the top team remaining, but they're my pick to win it all at this point, right? And the fact that they're able to go down 7-0 at home, obviously that's, a big red flag, but the fact that they were able to come back, the atmosphere in Foley was unbelievable. The frat houses in the back were absolutely popping. The home runs, I mean, the bats were absolutely popping as well. Just such an unbelievable performance. O'Shaughnessy had what, two home runs, two of like the biggest home runs I've ever of the entire tournament so far. Regional or super regional, I think for this in this entire tournament. And it's just such an unbelievable moment for Georgia, a team that deserves it. I mean, a team that, was unbelievable throughout the regular season, is really good at fighting back and showcased it today. It's just such an important moment for this team. And I think it only, obviously it's a close game, but I think it only builds their stock when it comes to being a national championship contender. I do want to give a little bit of credit though to this Mississippi State team. Like I mentioned, team that kind of seemed really out of it. I picked Georgia to win in two games. I didn't think Mississippi State had much of a chance. But Ace Reese had an absolute nuke. This entire team, the offense was so good. I questioned the pitching, but same thing with Georgia. I think the pitching on both sides needs a lot of work. And I trust the depth of Georgia's pitching a little bit more. I think they just have, a couple extra guys that are just gonna do well when it comes down to it. And I don't think Mississippi State has that same depth. And obviously they were playing their top guys today. And so the fact that Georgia was able to get out of it, the depth that they have, I think helps them a lot for Saturday if it gets to Sunday. But I personally don't think it will. But yeah, I mean, I do still want to shout out Mississippi State. Their offense is great, and they proved it tonight. I mean, even on the road in a atmosphere they didn't think they were going to be able to compete in, or nobody thought they were going to be able to compete in. The fact that they went up, the fact that they showed promise, I think matters a lot. And if they were able to hold on to it, man, this would have been such a good super regional. But yeah, what an unbelievable game. Like I mentioned before, one of the craziest, tournament college baseball games I think I've watched in a long time. And I think it just solidifies Georgia as the top team in the nation, even though it's a close game. I think there's moments in sports in general where winning a game by, we'll say baseball, for example, winning a game 10-5 doesn't mean as much as coming down from 7-0 and getting that win by just one run. I think it means more because it builds the character of these teams more. And this Georgia team, obviously, has gone through adversity, but the reality is like there's no better adversity that you can get than going down 7-0 at home in a series you really believe you can win. And now, I mean, Athens is probably popping. I'm sure the locker room is popping, and I'm sure that they understand that, you know, I'm sure they'll get it done tomorrow. I think that there's so much momentum riding on them. Like I said, with UCLA and Georgia Tech out, being kind of the favorite to win it all, going down and just fighting and fighting back. This Georgia team just has so much momentum around them. So yeah, that was just my instant reaction. Make sure to stay tuned for the channel if you want to see more. I'll have Omaha predictions, other reactions to these super regional games, and college sports coverage in general. So make sure to stay tuned in for more.